I hit the button. Yes, I did it.
You did
I'm
it.
in charge again.
Oh, Dan is in charge.
Yeah, it's like Mr. Hammer. I'm in charge of recording.
He's in charge of recording.
I can make Greg do things that he doesn't want to do.
We're going to talk about jock socks.
No. I can just make you do things you don't want to do.
Oh,
I don't know how you got to that.
I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Wow. I don't think anybody in this issue. Hang on, I'm looking.
Nobody's wearing. You don't see. You see no.
We don't
socks.
know what's under the whip guy.
I was going to say you see no socks. They're all wearing boots. I was going to keep it clean for the listeners.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, we've got our 90s hero with the ponytail. You know what the whip dude needs?
What?
Whiplash. Is that his name?
Yeah, Whiplash.
Yeah. He needs pouches.
He needs pouches.
If he had pouches, he'd be like a 90s superhero on an XXX team. Or no, not at an XXX, an extreme team. See where you have my brain now talking about jock socks.
Jock socks. I don't know, dude.
XXX. Well, fine listener of ours, when we started a podcast like this, that always means the book kept us super interested in it.
It's so good.
Actually, I do like this one, but it doesn't really get good till the end.
No, it is. I mean, well, that's how most things are in life. It doesn't get good till the end. Wait.
Till the end. Wow.
Wow, that got dark. Oh, my God.
I thought you were keeping it clean here. This is a family podcast.
Is it?
Yeah, very, very much so.
Let's do it.
I
know my grandma downloads it all the time. She's like,
I don't think your grandma would ever listen to this. If I came to your house and Baba had listened to this, she would not let me in.
She'd
be like, you are so dumb.
She doesn't know how to download stuff unless I show
she'd
her.
also just tell me how I was dumb.
Oh,
like if she listened to this. Yeah.
You're dumb. I thought you were smart.
I thought you were smart. I thought you were the smart friend. Then I heard this.
Then I heard this. Depressing. She'd be so depressed. I am depressed, disappointed.
I am disappointed. Well, we're on Invincible Iron Man 124.
Action in Atlantic City.
I heard somebody say a quote about Atlantic City.
Oh yeah, the AC.
They said it was the sad East Coast version of Las Vegas.
I'm sorry, it's true. Oh God, yes.
I've never been to Atlantic City, but that was the quote.
Oh God,
is it better than Reno? Like,
it's like if you took Reno and put it on a boardwalk.
Okay. Donald Trump's casinos there all go bankrupt? Yeah,
but I mean, and that's being generous.
That's good. I like things that make him go bankrupt.
Not. I'm being generous with the description of it being Reno, and because Reno's. I like going to Reno because it got circus.
See, okay, because I only know about Atlantic City through didn't they have 2 WrestleManias there?
And they got skee ball. Yeah, I mean, it's where you go when you're you live on the East Coast or somewhere, East Coast adjacent, like Philadelphia, and you're like, oh, hey, let's go to the beach and let's go play mini golf and skee ball. And
I guess that sort of makes sense. Yeah, because they wouldn't go there for casinos now, because now they can just go to Mohegan Sun, right?
Well, yeah, and that's, I mean,
they're going to go to Connecticut now.
Yeah, and that is a really good casino. And they also have a Comic-Con there. What? I know.
At Mohegan Sun. Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe we should go there someday.
And a comic book museum.
Well, we are going to a Comic-Con.
Oh, what? Shut your face.
Yeah. You have all the details, so you need to tell about the listeners.
I guess we'll plug that at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that amazing information.
We're making them wait to find out where we are live. They're going to turn off the podcast to never know where we're going to be live.
That's don't do that.
I don't know that this is the way to introduce something like this.
Yeah, but you're going to want to book your tickets now at the end of the show to come be part of the panel and record live with Dan and Greg.
Oh, that's official? We're recording live? Wow.
What? Oh, I don't know. You said you wanted to.
Yeah, I did. And hey, now it's Greg just announced. Thank you, Greg, for announcing on the podcast today that we will be recording live.
Great. That's I didn't mean to do that.
Great idea.
I got Dan all spun up and his hopes all up and everything like that. And I just told him I was going to buy him a steak while we were there. Jeez.
Invincible Iron Man number 124.
And all the bacon.
Marvel Comics Group, approved by Comics Code Authority.
Whoa!
Action in Atlantic City. And we've got the Blizzard.
Oh, the Blizzard.
We've got a Melter and a Whiplash already down.
They're down. They're down for the count.
And we've got the Blizzard being hit by some repulsor rays. Looks like a Bob Layton cover to me.
It does.
Because the Iron Man suits when Bob Layton covers always look amazing.
Yeah.
Those are repulsor rays, right? I got that right.
Yeah.
I haven't been naming his weapons.
Why not, Dan? I thought you were an expert in all things Iron Man.
Oh, yeah, that's why we're covering this. I
will
and always will be an expert in Iron Man comics.
I thought I'm disappointed again. Bob, I get in here. Disappointment.
Jeez.
Wag the finger of disappointment.
Well, we go.
She's like, why?
We go to the front page.
Yeah.
Whoa. And we've got
Whiplash.
I never read this little lineup at the top either.
Right.
When millionaire industrialist Tony Stark, inventor extraordinaire, garbs himself in a solar-charged steel mesh armor, he becomes the world's greatest human fighting machine, the Invincible Iron Man. I didn't know it was solar-charged.
I didn't know that either.
How come he had to go get a battery a few issues ago?
I don't know either, but the fact that it's solar-charged makes it that much cleaner.
Well, it makes sense in the middle of the energy crisis to have a solar charged suit.
Totally. And I mean, geez, do you think Tony now is running a solar charged suit?
I mean, we're square in the middle of the Iran hostage crisis, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, no oil.
Well, no, we still had,
I mean, yes, there's oil, but I mean, it's heating up. It's getting to the point where there's,
I think that was before.
They're coming off of the gas crisis.
Yeah, I think this is the part where we get Reagan elected, because
Reagan gets elected, but then it goes back into the early
we sent helicopters
to Afghanistan to fight the Russians.
No, there was no Afghanistan. That was Russia.
Well, no, we sent things to Afghanistan to fight the Russians.
Oh, that is factual. Yes.
We did not go there. We just sent things there.
A whole 1980 Olympic boycott thing. Yeah.
Yes. We sent things and then left, and that's how you get the Taliban.
And then in 1984, the Russians didn't come, and we won all the medals.
Aha.
See,
and not to be totally like off the rails, but like,
we're way off the rails.
It's interesting to think like, the Russia that we know has only been around, I mean, since 1917.
The Russia that we know has been around since
1917.
Oh, right. But the Russia that we have now has been around since like
2000.
0. No, we've gone back to the lineage of Russia, right?
We're back to.
It's like when they renumber comic. It's like when they have like New 52 and they start from 0, and then they go back to the old numbering.
It is interesting the Russia that we're in. The Russia that we're in now is a very.
We are not in Russia.
No, the Russia that the stage of Russia that we're watching, the season of Russia that we're watching now is interesting.
Right, like in 1917, they started at number 0 and they got to like number 300, and they were like, "Screw this, we're going back to number 2,408."
Oh, kind of.
And that's how it would happen in comics.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't compare Russia to comics because it's. I don't know. Are we going to talk about Russia? Because it's not really a great topic right now.
No. I was just it was just interesting.
Unless they're trying to buy Stark Industries.
Well, oddly enough, they are.
They may be. Well, we get some words from David Michelinie, John Romita on pencil art, Bob Layton co-plotter, Layton and friends on finished art. I have no idea who those friends are, but he just has friends apparently.
Friends.
Novak Sharen on Novak on letters, Sharen on colors. No first names, I guess they are.
Or is it Novak Sharen, letters and colors?
No, there's a comma there.
Oh, okay.
There's a Novak, comma letters, and a Sharen, comma colors.
Oh.
Roger Stern is the editor, And Jim Shooter is the editor-in-chief, as we are aware.
What if the name was Novak Letters and Sharen Colors?
There wouldn't be a comma there?
What if that's their name, Dan?
There wouldn't be a comma there? Who are Layton and Friends? It sounds like a sitcom.
It does. Layton and Friends. Come on, everybody. It's 8 o'clock and we're all gathering around the fire.
Oh, look. Hey, Layton and Friends. Later to be made as Chasing Amy.
We're finishing art right now. Hold on a second. Everyone, gather up your pages.
Gather up your pages. You know what? Actually, it was John Romita's pencils were so terrible that Bob Layton had to get a cadre of people to fix it.
He's on the phone. Hey, I need 10 from the pen. Come on, 10 from the bullpen. Send them up.
Bring them over.
Bring them over right now. I don't care what they're working on. Drop it all. Yeah. Got to get the Iron Man out.
Drop it all. I got a Romita pencil art portfolio here. We got to go.
We got to go.
That Romita Jr., let me emphasize that.
This Whiplash is a crazy looking hair.
Well, those are some interesting muscles on.
I was going to say his pecs are, Whiplash.
He's not missing a muscle anywhere.
He doesn't need any pockets because you just have to you could just tuck stuff up into those muscles.
Well, how about Blizzard down there? He's looking pretty buff.
I don't know, man.
You know who doesn't look? Even the Melter's looking pretty powerful.
The Melter looks like he came out of a He-Man comic. Blizzard looks like he just fell out of, like he's Snake Eye's brother. And Whiplash, well, moves his hair back and forth.
Who was that guy from the other dimension with Mojo?
Mojo Jojo?
No, not Mojo Jojo. Mojo in X-Men.
That
had the swords. That's what this guy looks like.
Deadpool?
No, not Deadpool. Shatterstar.
Shatterstar. Yes.
Much lamer than Deadpool.
He does look like a Shatterstar. Oh,
different color hair.
It's all kind of like, they are all precursors to all these things we're just talking about.
Okay, hey, hang on. Let's look. They all have feet though, so it's not Shatterstar.
No. These are the precursors, and then these spurred the ideas that became those things. Shatterstar was based off of that, and then lost his feet.
Yeah.
Swords.
Okay, well, Shatterstar. I mean, the Whiplash is saying, "That's it, Blizzard. You and Melter just keep hitting Iron Man with them beams. Pretty soon, he'll be so brittle that my electronic whip will crack him like a red and gold egg."
Oh,
is it like Easter or what?
Well, I mean, could be. You got to make an omelet. You got to break some eggs, man.
I mean, if you recall last issue, it looked pretty like Iron Man was in bad shape. He thought he'd taken out all 3 supervillains, and they all got up and got him down because we had to end the issue. And in the next issue, he gets up and beats the crap out of them right away.
Boom, shakalaka.
This is like Count Dooku.
Oh yes. Count Dooku.
Like Count Dooku was a badass the entire first movie, and then like gets his ass kicked in the first 5 minutes of the next one. Like what happened?
He's from the Charlemagne bloodline.
Apparently, like he was a badass, and then, well, anyway, we're about to crack the whip, and Bethany takes her Smith and Wesson and shoots the whip in half. Good job.
Wow. Yeah.
Shooting in the middle.
Cool, like panel. She's like, ha.
Yeah, she is the cool visual of her. Cool visual of the whip getting cracked. It's cracked. Broken.
In Atlantic City, it's cracked.
Hey, we got some words. Shirk. And badam. Shirk. No, I think it's the other. I think it's badam shirk because it hit the metal, so it's like badam. Yeah. That was the gun, and then shirk.
I like it.
So we've got a Smith and Wesson going on. And then she thinks she's a badass, and the Blizzard just freezes her hand. And then Iron Man, though, decides he's going to take out everybody now that they're not all concentrating on him. So he got the distraction he needs. He literally just runs toward the Melter, who apparently his only claim to fame is just having a giant thing in his chest that tries to melt things. And then he gets hit on the head and knocked through the ceiling.
Yeah.
Jeez. And he's not dead.
Nope.
He's got to be hurt, right? Like,
no,
you don't.
He gets knocked into all the showgirls, and they're like, pervert.
Yeah, prevert, because you can't say it.
Prevert.
Yeah.
Masher.
Yeah. Well, they're all the Atlantic. Oh, we can't call them Vegas showgirls, right? They're Atlantic City showgirls. Well, and then we get another scene here. He realizes the Blizzard is there, and the Blizzard's like, I have this all figured out. I'm going to, instead of blasting you this time, cover my body. Didn't we cover this last issue? In ice. And then start swinging at you. And that's going to work. And basically, Iron Man says he's an idiot. He says, sometimes I just can't decide what annoys me the most about creeps like you, your immodesty or your incompetence. Jeez. And Iron Man hits him a couple times, and he loses half of his clothes.
Because, I mean, that's what happens when you get hit by the invincible Iron Man. The invisible Iron Man.
Repulsor ray.
Yeah.
It repulses. Your clothes are repulsed. And they run away.
Yeah.
Well, now we have Whiplash left, and he's scared, and Bethany takes out Whiplash.
Was he left with his jock sock?
I don't know. He's got like that thing on still.
Yeah.
His skirt.
His skirt.
I don't know. What would you call that?
I don't know. Bethany's like, whacking him with a wood. Okay.
Are they kickboxing?
I don't know.
I don't know what he's wearing. Trying to describe Whiplash's costume is insanity. It's a big purple suit with orange fringe
and gloves
and orange boots, and he's got a giant red ponytail coming out of the top.
Yeah.
It is a stupid costume.
He looks like
it's only enhanced by Romita Jr.'s inability to draw a body in any sort of like form that's not strangely elongated.
He just looks like a really bad luchador.
Yeah, I think you said that last time, and I'm more inclined to agree with you now. But like that panel too, like it's weird.
Yeah, it's
the one where he's tripping over the slot machine and his body's all contorted in a weird way.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on? Look back, my shoe.
So,
sorry.
Well, we get anyway, Iron Man goes over to congratulate Bethany, and she's like, "Thanks a bunch. You didn't do your job. I hate you."
You're terrible, Iron Man. Which, I mean, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
And then he flies away.
I guess, yeah. I mean, he saved him. He did do his job because he saved himself, but he didn't. He did his job by putting on his uniform.
Yeah.
Well, somehow he very rapidly gets back his briefcase, and he's in his full tuxedo, and then they decide to go upstairs. And then they come back down in the morning, and he says, "I'm sorry if I wasn't quite myself last night, Bethany. I guess I did have a bit much champagne. I guess we've all been there." And she's like, "Well, you didn't hear me complaining." She's very polite to Tony.
Mm-hmm.
"I can't wait for a night when you are quite yourself." Oh my gosh. And then we get, I think Mrs. Arbogast is saying everything we're thinking after that scene. "Good morning, Mr. Stark, madam." She's not very happy Bethany is coming in.
Yeah.
She seems very protective of Tony.
Well, of course. Yeah, she's like, look at you, strumpet.
Well, anyway, we find out that Bethany has a gig guarding some famous ambassador.
Oh.
And we find out that Iron Man also has a gig guarding the same ambassador.
Oh.
So they can't go out and have burgers together at 21. Is that a famous burger place in New York? Or is that just made up for the comic?
Might have been made up for the comic, but it could have been real.
Well, we get introduced, or I guess probably not introduced, but we see Mr. Pithens, who I don't know anything about. I guess he's Tony's business manager.
Yes.
And they go back to Tony's palatial office. Is that a picture of Bethany on his desk?
Yes.
Jeez.
Tony moves pretty quick, you know.
Stalkerist much? Well, he's also at the bar at 9:30 in the morning, and he's like, "Well, it's midnight in Somalia." So
he knows what he likes, Dan.
He's gonna have a drink, and he's gonna go to work, and he's gonna have a drink, and he's gonna go to work.
And he likes Bethany, so he's gonna have a picture of her at his deskiny.
Well, he goes to his desk, and he's trying to figure out why his suit isn't working properly.
I thought you were going to say why his head hurts. Because you've been drinking 24 hours, man.
Well, maybe he could have figured out that his suit wasn't functioning properly due to some sort of radio interference if he was all together, but he's not. So He's frustrating and throws his papers around the room.
Oh, tantrum.
And he says, I have to clear my mind, get back in touch with myself. Maybe a little R&R will help. So he puts on the Iron Man suit and drunk flies across the city.
Yep, which is not a good idea.
Definitely, like if you have a multi-million-dollar suit with repulsor rays, you should definitely go out intoxicated. Well, he finds a bunch of kids in the back of a station wagon, totally been there, right there. Not on the New Jersey Turnpike or the Long Island Expressway, my bad. But yeah, they're in a station wagon.
In a station wagon.
Mom is trying to get the station wagon to run. Totally. By the way, that panel there where all those kids are in the back of the station wagon, like not seatbelted in and stuff, that was my life growing up. So sure. You haven't been there. Like,
I remember being on a turnpike back on the East Coast, cousins all in the back of a station wagon, going to McDonald's, not seatbelted, and us fighting over who was going to get the chicken nuggets, because we would get a 20-piece chicken nugget and have to split it between 4 cousins.
Wow.
And, like, big cousin was like, I'm biggest, so I'm getting the most chicken nuggets. And it's like, why don't we just split them all up evenly? 5 nuggets a kid. That makes sense.
Because you were the only cousin that could do math.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he grabs the car, pulls it out of the turnpike. He recharged the battery, but then says the battery doesn't have any water in it. And I'm like, well, didn't his original suit that we saw in the origin story have like a water squirter thing?
It did, but
And he says it's a dry battery, but he charges it. I don't think that it works that way. I think you would have to put in water first in those old batteries and then charge it.
Are you a scientist or just a PhD?
I'm not a scientist. However, I did have an International Harvester Scout that had a battery that you unscrewed the caps on and put water in that was purchased from Kibbe's Batteries in Puyallup, Washington, downtown. Not downtown. Actually out toward Sumner, out on Valley Avenue.
Yeah.
And anyway, you had to unscrew the caps and put water in the battery. So I'm very familiar with this, and I had to do that on multiple occasions. And you definitely could not charge the battery if there was not water in it. So I am not a scientist. I only know this through experience of driving a big...
You're an Iron Dan, but not an Iron Man. That's what I'm getting.
I'm definitely...
Yeah, Iron Dan.
And that Scout was probably made of iron. Yes. We know the bumper was. So it wasn't made of iron. It was made of checked steel. But
the roof was made of something very solid, because when we took that thing off-roading and I hit the roof, I think I lost an inch.
Yeah, well, you should wear your seatbelt.
I don't think you had seatbelts in the back, Dan.
I did. But anyway.
I didn't use it, apparently.
Well.
My fault.
Well, anyway, now we get to another page and we get to Mr. Hammer's villa. His spacious villa.
Oh, yes.
And he's like, ha ha ha, our equipment was able to breach Iron Man's refractory coating again. Ha ha ha. Oh, wait, he's not ha ha haing. He's just saying it.
He's just saying it.
Oh, that is the most excellent combined with our previous tests. I think we've all the assurance we need. So, okay, he thinks he has everything he needs to take Stark International to its knees, but he also knows he can control Iron Man's suit. Okay, so it seems like an important plot point. And they have drawn this plot point out over several issues, so good for them.
Yeah.
It just didn't appear out of nowhere. It's not a MacGuffin in the story, which is nice.
It's a real problem.
So we are back. We're at the UN, and Iron Man is coming down, and everybody just moves out of his way, and the news wants to talk to him, and he's famous, and he gets in and he's walking through and he's talking to Mr. Pithens, and they're wandering in, and boom, he's in a big hallway with a little fat guy.
Fat guy in a big hallway.
Big coat. Oh, you can't say fat. I'm sorry. How would you describe this man?
Disproportionate body shape man.
Okay.
In a
round head guy.
I would say a pear-shaped man in a big suit.
Well, he meets, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ambassador, may I present the emissary from Stark Industries, Stark International, sorry. And he meets the fabulous Iron Man, and he goes up and he's like, hey, can I have your autograph for my niece? And Iron Man's like, certainly, Mr. Ambassador. What's the young lady's name? And he's like, Sergey. So he's crushing on Iron Man there. So it looks like he just got Iron Man to be his bodyguard so he could meet him.
Yeah.
And he has Bethany as his bodyguard too.
Yeah.
And Iron Man says charmed, and she says delighted. Like, yeah. It's like Mrs. Arbogast is there to meet with them.
Right. Oh man.
She's not going so well.
No, it's not.
Well, we get going here, and we've got them on stage. The ambassador's about ready to give a speech, and there's pictures, and Mr. Hammer is in his lair, and he says, "That's fine, Philip. The monitor picture is superb. Now do stand by the controls, for I believe the most propitious moment. There we go. For instigating the final phase of our experiment is just about," and then they say, "Smile, Mr. Ambassador." Camera people do. And he says, "Now," and there's a gleam in his eye.
Oh, that's bad news.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
And, oh, gosh, a repulsor ray goes literally through poor Sergei, the ambassador. And people look horrified.
Yeah, I mean, I would be if I was in the audience and all of a sudden I see this guy stand in front of Iron Man just get blasted through the back.
Yeah, and I do like the art here. The faces are fantastic.
Everybody's like, whoa.
Bethany runs up and yells, "Oh my God, he's you monster, you killed him." She turns around and there's tears in her eyes. And Iron Man, you can even see the look on the eyes are fantastic in the last panel. You can tell the look on his face. And he's saying, "I killed him." What I could do without in this scene, and I have critiqued Michelinie's writing before, all the yellow descriptor panels I didn't need.
You didn't need those.
No, where it says horror, instant and palpable, and for several awkward seconds, startling crowds stand staring in disbelief. No, I don't need that because the art shows that. I don't need that description. Yeah. And it says, "And for the briefest of frozen moments, the fear in the pair of emerald green eyes." Don't need that because I can see it. It's mirrored in the shock-seared soul of the erstwhile hero. I don't need that because I can see it. So in this case, I will compliment John Romita Jr. and Bob Layton
in the
because this looks fantastic.
It does.
And
it's a great page.
The narration actually honestly takes away from it because your eyes are drawn to the words, right? Instead of the really cool art that's describing the scene.
Yeah, the amazing action that's happening. It's like it from the top panel to the bottom panel, there's so much happening and so much emotion from each panel and each character that's in these pages. In this page, it's like, wow.
Yeah, they almost could have gone without.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Words.
Definitely. No words. You don't need them. Sometimes.
Actually, yeah, they could have even gone. You could have just gone with you killed him, and that's it. And not even Iron Man saying anything, just looking at his hand.
Yeah.
So
maybe
I didn't mind this issue.
No, it's a good issue.
We're really short on this one because this issue moved fast, right? It's a lot of subplot. It is. There's quite a bit of dialogue in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue, but it's a lot of action. He cleans up that baddie team pretty quick. So, and we don't even know what their whole purpose was. They were just there, and he just happened to be there to take them down. I mean, he was right place, right time, right? So, I mean, Iron Man doing what Iron Man does. It just seems like a lot of stuff happening in this issue. You got Iron Man being the hero, and then Iron Man being the villain unintentionally.
Yep. So there we go. That's Iron Man 124.
Oof. Issue.
And we'll be off to 125 next.
Oh boy, 125.
Well, we'll find out if Iron Man has really killed that guy and why.
It makes you really. I mean, it does beg the question, and I'm sure for our listeners out there that are listening between us posting and doing the next issue and episode, what are your thoughts on this type of thing where superheroes do things unintentionally that have bad outcomes, right? Like, I mean, obviously this is a situation where Iron Man is in a situation where he had no control over this malfunctioning suit. Someone dies. But,
well, in this one they clearly tell you from the start, right?
It's a setup, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, they're not hiding it, right? And they set it up through several issues, so when it happens, but the rest of the world doesn't know. So we're sort of going to get an Iron Man on the run next issue, right?
But Dan, again, if he was just Tony Stark, never wearing the suit, would never kill the guy. Would never had somebody trying to use his suit to make bad things happen.
Well, also, I would just say, if he wasn't drunk, would he have discovered that the suit was being tampered with? I don't know that they actually addressed that. It's implied, but I don't remember them actually addressing that in the next issue. So,
but I mean, it goes to ask the question in any other superhero type situation, when any other superhero is doing something with any good intention and bad things happen.
Definitely goes to his competency too, right? Yeah. Whether he should even be doing anything.
I mean, definitely. And he is in a place where he's putting himself at harm and putting others at risk. So, he's by drinking it up and then flying around in the suit and then going and doing stuff to do his job.
Well, next issue is going to be a little bit crazy because of all this happened. We're going to get Avengers guest starring cameo. We're going to get an Ant-Man cameo.
Oh my god,
that would be Scott Lang Ant-Man, not the Ant-Man you're thinking of.
Well, I don't care which Ant-Man it is. I just like Ant-Man.
Well, if you were thinking in a comic sense, you would have been thinking it would be Pym, right?
Yeah,
But this is the period when Lang actually appears, and I had forgotten Scott Lang was this old of a character, and Brian Michael Bendis isn't trying to murder him in the issue, so we're good. And then we've got Rhodey back, so it'll be an action-packed issue.
Oh, for sure.
So look forward to that one. And do we want to finish up now? You've held them in suspense for 34 minutes.
Oh my
you want to tell people where we might be appearing?
If you've been hanging out for this long and you want to know where we're going to be, tune back in next episode and find out more information then about where Dan and Greg can be found somewhere in these great United States.
Shut up.
I'm just joking. Well, you all would have known where Dan would be if he had just sent in his headshot and his bio.
Greg, are you going to tell the people where we're going to be?
We are going to be.
You have one job.
I know. I have one job, but boy, oh boy, I had to roast you once in a while. I mean, yes, you're in charge this episode, but
yes, I will send in my headshot and my bio. I am very sorry. I'll just apologize to you and to the people running the convention right now. In my defense,
I know you've been very busy.
And you and Mike and Brett are the actual creators, so I'm sure they care much more about your all's headshots and bio than mine.
They care about us, but you are also the ringer host extraordinaire, running panels from here to there, and also we're doing a live podcast at the Omaha Comic Con.
At Comic Con. So you're taking me to Omaha when?
I do
or
believe,
am I taking you to Omaha?
Well, we are going together as a team, as a podcasting partnership. That is correct, folks. We are traveling out of the great Pacific Northwest, and we are going to be in Omaha July 21st through the 24th. Well, I mean, we are going to be there the 21st through the 23rd.
21st, 22nd, 23rd. Yeah, yes. You don't need to tell the listeners all of our travel plans. I mean, there's a modicum of privacy maybe that I'd still want.
Well, there's a great zoo there, and I want to see all the animals.
Yeah, I'd be like listening to this podcast. So
and steak.
I do like steak.
Yes.
So anyway, we will definitely be going, and it'll be fun. There's some other event in the United States going on that's packed with people
at the same time.
It's miserable. It's at the same time. It's miserable. It's all corporatized. You don't want to go there. Come to an actual Comic Con where there are comics.
Yeah, I mean, you could go to the other thing, and by all means, if you haven't, you should go to different things once in a while. But I mean, if you haven't gone to Comic Con, then Comic Con is where you should go. Con is I've gone a couple times in the past, and their lineups are great. The size is like amazing for a show in the Midwest, and the folks that put it on, bar none, bring in just great vendors and creators and special guests and the types of different things that are happening around the area are just super cool and fun.
And I understand there'll be a lot of things about comics there.
Yeah, that's actually a major emphasis. It's pretty cool.
Oh, you mean at a Comic-Con there's actually comics?
I know, right? I met a lot of really great creators, large and small at Comic-Con. That it's very nice to go and as a creator and go and see other creators creating and doing stuff.
Nice.
And if you like to buy comic books, if you're looking for older comic books, guess what? There's people selling those too. It's amazing.
Well, there's a couple things I want you to know that we've done here. Number one is I put you in the middle seat on the flight out.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. It is a bulkhead row, but I put you in the middle seat. So Greg will be in a really good mood when we get there.
Uh-huh.
And then also, we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we are. We have a great time.
And so, yeah, if you are out in that area on the, Greg just said it, 21st, 22nd, 23rd.
23rd.
Come say hi. We'd love for you to come say hi. Yeah. We may even give you a sticker or something.
Yeah. We're going to have stickers?
Have our cool little logo.
What?
I hope so.
Oh, my goodness.
And come say hi. And we may even do a live podcast, which it sounds like Greg's planning for. So
yeah, I mean, I already got the microphone packed in the suitcase. Wait, I'm not packed yet. That's a lie. But
I hope you're not packed for a July trip yet. But
I like to be prepared.
By the time I release this podcast, it may seem like you need to be packed. So
I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to be it's kind of fun to be able to go travel with the different creative teams that I work with. You for podcast, Mike for Junior Braves, and Brett with Starlight and Overcast. And it's just kind of it's gonna be a fun, quote unquote, I'm air quoting, family event for our little family.
That means
as well as yours too. We're gonna have to get matching shirts.
Podcast. We're gonna have to get matching shirts.
Yeah, family trip. You're like, I hate this idea.
Matching shirts. Okay. Well, we could get shirts with the logo on it. I could do that. We could do that. I'm okay with that.
It's a thing.
That's probably a good idea. Well, anyway, we probably should get on that and not discuss the hows and whys on the podcast and bore our one listener. But yeah, we will be there. Please join us. And join us next time here for Invincible Iron Man 125 as we work toward issue 128 in this
Demon in a bottle.
But fun Demon in a Bottle storyline. But fun. Did I just call the Demon in the Bottle storyline fun?
You said it was fun. This is like such a messed up storyline.
It's fun. It's super fun. We're having fun.
It's fun to watch somebody just like, I don't know, lose themselves to alcoholism. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
I mean, sure.
Well, on that note,
it is an eye-opening thing. It is it.
It's eye-opening. It's eye-opening. And on that note, thank you for joining us for another episode of Funny Book Forensics.
You have to hit the button.